bloody gone and done it. Atletico Madrid are kings of Spain, boys and girls, defying the odds, beating the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona to become champions once again. But what did I pick way back at the start of the season? Well, I'll tell you next. Today we're going to go all the way back to the start of the season to take a little look back at my early little picks for La Liga. Who did I think will come out as champions? But we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe button to keep banging with all things Blackburn Rovers related, La Liga related, world football related. We're all here under one Rooski. That's right, boys and girls. Yes, indeed. Of course, Atletico became champions, defying the odds from the big guys. Despite that it looked like it was going to be the biggest bottle job of the season, but they held on to the end. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Of course, a big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons. Thank you for your continued support working behind the scenes. But anyway, we're going to jump in the deep end. Hopefully behind me or around about here somewhere, you should see the video of course, last season. We're going to have it in double speed. Of course, go through them, my picks from the middle all the way down to the bottom, and then, of course, the top 10 to see how good or how bad I was. So let's get into the deep end then, shall we? And actually I'll look at it. So we're going to start smack dab in the middle. Of course, into 11th spot it will be. And in the real world it was so actually we're going to go with 10th spot. I don't know why we're going with 10th. We go with 10th, of course, with Granada. Granada were 10th in my eyes. They, of course, actually finished in 9th. Of course, late bloomers in the old Europa League as well. They were contenders maybe to get deep in that one, but of course losing to Manchester United in the end. Not a bad season for them. Of course, just shy of the Europa League spots as well for this season. 46 points on the board for them as well, with 13 wins in the campaign. So Granada just 1 place better off than my pick, so that's not a bad start for me. I'm just a little bit concerned why I started in 10th when I should have been in 11th. But anyway, regardless of all that. Into 11th spot we had Real Betis. Of course, tremendous season for them, finishing in 6th as well. Nabil Fekir is, of course, the creative dynamo within that team. They still got Joaquim as well, of course, the legend of the game, once the most expensive player in the world. 61 points on the board for them as well. Of course, a good defensive record, 50 goals scored, 50 goals conceded, and did not lose the last 5 games. Of course, winning 3 and drawing 2. So they'll be in Europa League for action next season. So fair play to them. I'll be looking forward to seeing them next season, of course. So much better than my picks, of course, finishing in 11th. So not great there indeed. So yeah, kicking on further though, what do we have in the next one? Of course, into 12th spot we have Valladolid. This is where it goes a little bit south, and tremendously south, of course. Valladolid ultimately getting themselves relegated all the way down to the 19th there, so not greatest pick in my eyes. So yeah, bitty poopity scoopity, of course, going down with 31 points on the board, losing the last 4 games of the season. Not great indeed. Yeah, cut adrift from the chasing pack, 5 points away from safety. But yeah, Valladolid, unfortunately, I predict them to be safe, but of course they go down to Segunda Division next season. Into 13th spot we have Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo finishing in 8th, and another credible score, credible position for them in the table. Of course, I did expect them to struggle, but they did much better than that. I do like the likes of Celta Vigo and Real Betis being in this division. It does make it a little feisty, and they are a team that you just don't know what you're going to get. 53 points on the board for them, again winning 4 of the last 5 games of the season. Not a bad way to end the season, and of course it was maybe a season or 2 longer, or a month or two longer, they could probably push for the top 6 as well. So into 14th spot Levante, and guess what, they got finished in Levante. That's right, bang on 14th. So fair play to me, called that one bang on the nose. They didn't win any of the last 5 games to make themselves push further up in the table. Of course, not too bad points as well, 41 points as well, 3 shy of 11th, so they could have had an even tremendous season if they would have played a couple more games as well. So not bad season for Levante, finishing in 14th, 9 wins for them, scoring 46 goals in the process. Into 15th spot I had Huesca. Unfortunately they go down into 18th, so not great for them. 34 points on the board for them as well. 2 wins in the last 5 wasn't good enough to get themselves out of it. They just went down by a couple of points shy of Elche, and we'll take a look at Elche in a minute. I do think I have Elche going down, but unfortunately Huesca will go down. Of course, they've been with us for a couple of seasons now in top flight, but now it's back to the 2nd division for them over in La España. So into 16th spot, who did I have there? Of course, I'm trying to have a quick reminder of myself. Quick look at the teams. Maybe Eibar. I'm going to predict Eibar being 16th for me. It might not be. Of course, he's taking his time to chew on this Huesca nugget. Cadiz, I actually went with Cadiz in 16th spot. Cadiz actually had a tremendous season, finishing in 12th their first season back in the top flight. Not too shabby. Didn't win the last 3 games though, finishing with 44 points on the board, level on points with 11th. Of course, just 3 shy of a top half finish behind Granada as well, so not too shabby there. Alaves into 17th, they actually finished in 16th. I did anticipate them they would struggle. Of course, they flirted with Europe a couple of seasons back, but of course didn't really end it. They didn't end the campaign there either. So yeah, they just held on by the skin of their teeth. Will they struggle next season? We'll revisit that another day. Into 18th, I've got Eibar. Of course, Eibar did go down into 20th, so I got that kind of right. I did anticipate them to go down. So 20th spot for Eibar, 30 points on the board. They had a good strong back end last 5 games, just winning or just losing 2, but unfortunately not good enough. They were drift by 6 points, so they'll need to make those numbers up whenever they come back into the top 5. It won't be next season. Of course, they'll have to, of course, compete with the second tier next season. Into 19th, then we've already seen the 3 teams that go down. Who did I also tip to go down? Well, actually tipped Osasuna to go down, finishing in 11th. They're middle of the road, of course, 44 points on the board for them. Good season again, second season campaign I think for them in the top flight. Not too shabby. They stuck around, and of course they'd actually competed pretty well for themselves. Of course, not too shabby from, not too far off our top half finish as well. Just 2 points adrift of 9th. So again, they look at they're starting to be an established team in La Liga, and I hope they'll do the same next season. Of course, I didn't really see it this season, but maybe now 2 seasons in a row, I think they've got the ingredients to maybe be an official La Liga team moving forward. Elche, of course, they did survive. Goodness gracious me, I tipped them to go down, and of course, rightly so. Of course, they come up with of course the likes of Cadiz and co, but they finished in 17th spot, just 2 points adrift of the top, winning back-to-back games at the back end of the season. 2 points, of course, clear of the drop. And of course, just 2 points shy of a 15th spot finish, so not too bad for them. So fair play, they'll be back once again next season. Into 9th, though, I had Atletico Bilbao. They've actually finished in 10th, so not too shabby. In the middle of the road, they're 9th and 10th spots. You can flip-flop them around, and of course, they'll get them bang on the nose. So Atletico Bilbao, of course, aside, you just don't know what you're going to get. Back in the season, not great, losing, or at least not picking up a win in the last 4. So they'll try and they'll be there next season. They're forever faces, of course. That's sort of where they end up in that middle of the pack. Kind of sometimes flirting with Europa League spots, but not really getting that far. Into 8th spot was Getafe. Getafe actually finished back, a real struggle towards back in the season. Just 1 win in the past 5 for them, ultimately finishing with 38 points on the board. Of course, they were in Europe a couple of seasons back, if not last season maybe, I don't even know, but they finished in 15th in the year. Not a great season for them, but they'll be back next season, of course, maybe build from the mistakes of this year and go again and try and have a more stronger campaign into 2021, 2022. So into 7th now, of course we get into the big numbers here. Of course, I think I might have gone with Valencia on this one. A lot of people tipped Valencia to straight. It's actually Villarreal. I actually went with Villarreal in 7th, of course. Just won Europa League. Fair play to them. They will be going to the Champions League via the sneaky back door. They actually finished in 7th, so fair play to me. I got the one bang on the nose, so kudos to me. So not too shabby there. 15 wins for them, just 10 defeats. Of course, Unai Emery, the man in charge. Good evening, doing the business in the Europa League, but of course sneaking themselves. They were competing, of course, with that top 4 spots for a good part of the season. Maybe a third or 2/3 of the season they were up in that sort of echelons, but they kind of fell short towards back end, ultimately finishing in 7th, of course. So into 6th now. We're going to the Power 6. We've already seen a couple of at least one of the teams been revealed. Real Betis did make 6th in the real world. In my eyes, I did call them down as low as 11th. So who did I put in 6th? It probably is Valencia next. Of course, everybody told me that the proof was in the pudding, and Valencia will struggle because they are selling a lot of their key players, and that seems to be the case. So I did have them in 6th. They did finishing as low as 13th, but of course much better than a lot of people were saying. A lot of people did suggest that they would struggle and maybe even get relegated. That would have been a major disaster as well. Of course, I remember Valencia from Champions League dates, of course, being in the group stages and maybe even competing into the latter stages as well, but I haven't seen that in a long time. So they need to maybe regroup in Valencia, and hopefully maybe next season they could make a more decent push for top half of the table. Into 5th, I actually went with Real Sociedad. They actually finished in 5th. They were competing for the Champions League spots with David Silva, of course, coming in from Manchester City. Alexander Isic with the goals as well. William Jose was sold mid-season. I think he was a Sociedad player, wasn't he? But yeah, they've got the ingredients there. Of course, they're the best of the rest, really. Of course, competing with the likes of Villarreal and Valencia, and of course the rest to make into those top four. But unfortunately, they couldn't break into that barrier quite a distance as well, 15 points shy of fourth. But they'll go into Europe next season. I think they're happy with that, and we'll see about that. So into fourth, I actually went with the champions. That's right, Atletico Madrid finishing in fourth in my eyes. Of course, finishing top by 2 points, quite comfortably in the end, winning the last three. There was a stage where I did fear for Atletico Madrid, but they did hold on tight for the title. So fair play to them. Of course, Simeone is one of the best, if not the best, or most expensive, or most highly paid managers in world football. So they've got what they deserve. Then that is a La Liga title. So fair play to them. They finished, of course, top. I actually went with fourth. I actually went with a little bit bold with my sort of top three here. I actually might have got it a little bit right, not in the right way, but of course, we'll have a look. I actually went with Barcelona in third. I think I did actually go for Barcelona in third. They actually finished in third, so not too shabby on that one. Of course, Koeman came in. He's been a stopgap until Xavi, or whatever his name is, one of the old geezers who's managing Saudi Arabia or something like that right now, is going to come in and take over the reins allegedly. So Koeman, will he be here for the start of next season? I'll be surprised to see if he is back. Of course, they are rebuilding already, bringing in of course matey boy Eric Garcia from Manchester City. Memphis Depay seems to be on his way over. Of course, they're looking at bringing in Sergio Aguero. In fact, that's also been confirmed. So they are rebuilding for next season. Will Messi be there next season? I think he might be. Of course, he's always flirted with leaving, and I'll be surprised if he does leave in the end. But he needs to leave, I think, to get him out of his comfort zone and see if he can compete at another stage somewhere else. Of course, 79 points on the board for Barcelona. Not great in the end. They are good 7 points adrift of Atletico, so they'll need to get those points back and more. But yeah, I went bold with my second choice, of course, into number two. I actually went with Sevilla. They actually finished 2 points adrift of Barcelona into third. But they, I was impressed with their Europa League campaign the season prior. I was blown away by how they play football. I thought, you know what, if Barcelona look a little bit wobbly, then there might be an opportunity here for Sevilla. There was a good opportunity for them. They did finish in fourth. But ultimately, at the end, I did go with Real Madrid, and of course, Zinedine Zidane's boys. They finished in second, just 2 points adrift. It's not a bad shout, but of course, a lot of people would have gone Barcelona, Real Madrid, Barcelona. So at least I went with a little bit of boldness here with Sevilla to breaking up the pack, and of course, putting Barcelona down to third. So that was a pretty bold move, and I think I pretty much deserve a little bit of a pat on the back on that one, because I did see that coming. I didn't think those ingredients were there for success for Barcelona this season. It'll be, of course, interesting to see what happens next season. Will Koeman stick around? If Koeman sticks around, I think we might see a little bit of improvement by Barcelona, but I'm still not convinced about it. And of course, the future of Messi is also going to be of much debate. And I think we won't get any conversation or any word about that until the conclusion of Copa America, of course, with his involvement in that. But that's it, my friends. I did okay. Of course, we'll do, Syria. We'll do La Liga again next season, of course. Of course, with the prediction league and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that another day. But yeah, I like the La Liga, especially when it serves up stuff just like this. Of course, Atletico Madrid upsetting the big boys, of course, coming out on top and becoming champions once again. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, and we'll do it all again very, very soon. Check out the links as well down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, Patreon as well. Yes, I'm on a boat. I'm in the middle of deepest, darkest Georgia. I'll be back next week. But of course, I'm back to work next week, so it also makes things a little bit hinky that way. But it doesn't matter. We'll see you soon. Make sure you check out the links down below. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, Patreon. If you want to support the channel in another way, that's the best place to do it. Also, I'm on Discord. Wide open. That's free to go. Get that out. Check it all out.